Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Leanna, and today we're talking about listing your death pile. We're going to talk about what a death pile is, how it comes about, and the tips and tricks that I used to help me get most of my pile listed or drafted at least. So, first and foremost, what is a death pile? A lot of people don't like the term death pile. They think it's very negative, but you know what? That's up to you. Some people call it a money pile. And basically what it is just the unlisted inventory that you have hanging around. And some people, like me, will source and not list. So I have been getting better at going out to the source, prepping my items and listing them. I'm getting better at it, like having that routine and not letting them sit. But I did have a pre-existing pile that I wasn't going into. So the death pile is basically just your unlisted inventory. And it does come about because you do what I was doing and you're sourcing, but you're not doing the next step of prepping and listing and whatever. So you have to have that flow. It has to keep going. Now I understand, and I do this, I might pick something up out of season and put it to the side so I can list it closer to the season it belongs to. That's not a great habit. I think if you are sourcing those things, you should be listing those things. I'm still learning, just so you know. So how did I approach starting my death pile listing spree that I've been on? I stopped sourcing. I did not source at all last week. And yeah, it was only a week, but it actually gave me the time to devote to looking at my pile and deciding what I wanted and how I wanted to organize it. So I stopped sourcing. I was really, really good. I think stopping sourcing is really a great idea if you have a death pile, unless a fantastic deal comes about. Always be aware of what's going on. And if you do happen to come across something that is a fantastic deal, then absolutely pick it up. But for the most part, don't go sourcing like you normally would. Don't continue to add to that pile until that pile has been depleted. I went through my death pile. I also went through some of my actual listed inventory just to make sure that things were listed and whatever to add to the pile. I did find two things that were not listed that should have been. So one is listed already and one is hanging up ready to be prepped. So I did that. I got organized. I went through it and I organized it to items that I thought were easy to list, to the sort of medium hard to list, to the really hard to list. And I went in that direction because I have not been motivated to list. So I wanted to start easy to build my momentum, to build my motivation. Some people find it better to start with the hard things, tackle that hard task first, get it done, and then it's just easy sailing for the rest of the time. I just did it the opposite way. That's just me. It's just the way I am. So I did go through and I looked at shoes, bras, and smaller hard goods because I find them very easy to list. Because I have two places where I photograph. So I have our downstairs in our basement. We have a desk where we do some smaller items photographing. It's set up, there's lights and everything. So if I only have to use that section, like for shoes, then that's easier for me as opposed to a top, because I do my mannequin photographs upstairs in the living room where there's lots of natural light, and then I take it downstairs to do the measurement photos and stuff. So that's more of a two-step process. So I did all the shoes and bras and that because it took one place, and I just find them really easy to not only to prep but to photograph and then to get listed. So I've got most of those done. I have not got the Doc Martens done yet because I'm still doing research. I want to just really double check that these are worth what I think they're worth. So I'm still looking at that. So hopefully by the end of the week, those will be done. So I got all those done. I went through and I organized my rack. The next thing that I did was what I call sort of medium. So my tops and my pants, I got them done because I find them easy to do much more than dresses and coats because there's less measurements involved. There's less pictures in some ways. So that's what I did next. And I got most of them done. I do have a larger sort of torrid it's a tank top, but it's a longer tunic, so I decided to put them with the dresses. I did my large coats yesterday. That's where I found a couple of coats where one for sure that I forgot I had, which is not a good thing. But I got those pictures done. Those will be listed today. Another thing that I found was a coat that I bought a couple of months ago. It's one of those vintage sort of wool coats with the fur collar and the appliques on it, very Hudson's Bay in a sense. And that was in my pile with the projects. So if something has a loose button, or if something has a frayed hem or a small little hole on the seam that I have to fix, this was with that because it has a stain on it, very faint, but it's there. And I thought, oh, I'm going to fix that before I actually list it. Not realizing at the time that I don't want to do that stuff. I don't want projects. So a lot of those things, and there's not a lot, there's maybe, I know there's 3 for sure that are in that pile right now, but for me to do a project, I don't really want to. So I do try when I am sourcing to look for flaws. I still miss some sometimes, and that's okay. Like, I don't mind a stain or two that I can treat, but if it's a loose button or if it's a frayed hem or a big stain on something expensive or a special sort of fabric, I do try not to pick those up if I can help it. I did pick up that coat because it was a fantastic deal, and it can be worth, at least over $100. So I did buy that one, and I put it to the side, not realizing that I wasn't going to do it. That's something I've learned about myself. I don't want projects. I don't want those loose things. I just want to be able to, wash it, stain treat it if I have to, and get it up and gone. So I did do my large coats yesterday. They need to be listed. I'm going to get that done today. Today is Monday, by the way. I am filming on Monday. I still have the dresses and the maxi dresses to do. There's not a lot. I think there's 8 altogether, 8 more items, and that's okay. I can get those done by the end of the week. That's my goal. Now, that's the way I organized it because I just find it easier to do that. And once in a while, if I'm just not motivated, once I start, it makes it easier. So taking that first step and actually going through your pile, getting those things out of that pile that you're excited to list, that you think, yeah, I really want to list this, or this would be super easy, I could just get that done in 2 minutes. I do advise you to do that. Get excited about the items that are in your pile, because you will forget what's in there if you're oversourcing like I did. So I still have the dresses to do, take photographs off. They're all prepped. I took a morning and I prepped everything. I made sure the shoes were clean. I steamed everything so there was no wrinkles so that I could just go and take photos. Blocking off your tasks, I find, is another great tip. Doing all the organization in one go. Doing what prep you can in one go. If you have a whole bunch of shoes, maybe you do shoes once. And if you have a whole bunch of clothing, you do the steaming at another time. The organizing and the prep, I get that done first, so all I have left to do is the photographs and then the actual drafts and listing. So everything is prepped, ready to go, so all I have to do is actually take the photos, which I hopefully will get done today with the dresses. I still have purses from, I showed you purses that I got at an online auction. I still have to do them. That's on my list for the day, for the week. So my dresses, my purses, and the Doc Martens are on the rest of my list, but then my death pile is pretty much zero. I think I have 15 items, but they are shorts and lightweight tops for spring and summer. So that's good. I don't mind that. Even though I should be sourcing things and listing them right away. So if I pick up a winter coat, I don't care if it's in the middle of summer, I need to be listing that so that I don't build my death pile again. Because I don't have enough room to have all this unlisted stuff. I want my space to work for me. So I want my items listed so they can make me money. That's what I need to be doing. So let's just double check this. A couple of the tips is don't source anymore. Go through your death pile. Get those things out that you're excited about. Organize it so that you can photograph similar things together, or easy things, medium hard and harder things, or vice versa. Prep everything in little batches, because batching your tasks really does help a lot. Because I know that right now, if I had to go down and steam all those dresses, that's a step that I just don't want to be taking. I want to be able to go down and photograph. So that's what I did. And then go through and decide whether or not you want to do your hardest ones first, because I know a lot of people like to tackle those things, and I agree with that. Or you want to go easy and build your momentum. So those are my tips. Also, don't oversource if you can help it. Take advantage of opportunities for sure. Try not to oversource. Know what your minimums are. Know what your maximums are. Try your very hardest not to build that death pile if you possibly can. Now, that all depends also where you are and what you're doing. If you're in the middle of a snow belt country and you can only get out once a month, buy all your inventory for sure. Have that pile for a month. So, there are differences to people's businesses. But that's the way that I have been doing it. And for the last week, it's been working really, really well. I did get a little behind yesterday, but that's okay. I'm allowed to take some time for myself. But this week is finishing up the finishing touches. I will be going to Value Village tomorrow because I want to. I have other things, personal things that I want to look for. So I will be going sourcing tomorrow. But when I go sourcing, I am going to be extremely picky. I am going to check my comps, and I'm going to check my sell-through rates. And I'm going to be sourcing things that I'm excited to get listed. That's what I'm doing. Anyway, that is it for today. I hope everybody has a fantastic week. And I will be back. I'll probably show you what I got at Value Village. That's probably what I'll show you. Anyway, everybody have a good week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.